And I'm like, yeah, we do need change. We do need law enforcement to change. But it's hypocrisy when we don't come out for our own people when we shooting each other. Because the one thing we always say is the police are shooting our brothers and our men. And well, they the same men that's shooting each other.
Brothers and sisters, brothers and sisters, I don't know what this world is coming to.
You're listening to the Black and Blue Podcast, a discussion and celebration of the roles of African Americans and other minorities in U.S. law enforcement. Your host on the Black and Blue Podcast is Dale Peters, a law enforcement professional with over 20 years experience in the business. Hop on board this Black and Blue train of interviews, current events, and pop culture conversations. So get ready. The Black and Blue Podcast is coming at you right now. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, how you doing? Welcome back to the Black and Blue Podcast. My name is Dale. I'm your host. Thank you for joining me here today. I appreciate each and every last one of you for joining me on this show that I call Black and Blue Podcast. I call you guys square pegs out here if you look at the logo there, because we are that square peg in a round hole that we call law enforcement. So I appreciate everybody for rocking with me on this journey, bridging the gap, showing you guys another side of law enforcement. Of us melanated, minorities in law enforcement that maybe you didn't get to see in the past. I got a guest here today who's really special. He's out here in California where I'm at. He is a deputy with the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department and a whole lot more. Everybody, please help me welcome in Mr. Rafer Owens.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dale. It's a pleasure to be here today.
I appreciate you. So how's your
Yes,
day
sir.
shaping up so far?
Oh, good day. Good day. Got my workout in and kind of just chilling out now. Today's my off day, so I kind of max out and relax a little bit, get my mind off of everything, and go hit some golf balls so I can get confused and really think about those golf balls that went right.
So you a golfer, huh?
I'm a hacker right now, but hopefully I'll be a golfer one day. I tear up a lot of grass.
All right. So I understand you out here in the IE. One of my partners in my department he just retired, and he's an avid golfer. Maybe I'll hook you two up with each other so he can give you some tips. He's been trying to get me out on the golf course for years now. I'm not a golfer, so I'll get you in touch with him. Maybe the two of you can do it.
Oh man, I would love it. Please. I would love
Yes.
it. I just moved out this way, so I would love to hook up with him and always have another golf buddy, especially if someone can give me some instruction.
Yeah, for real. Yeah. He's on it every day. He's out there. So yeah, I'll hook you up. So you were a deputy with LA County Sheriff's Department. How long you been there?
34 years. 34 years as a Los Angeles
Wow.
County deputy sheriff. Yes,
Wow,
sir.
34 years. 34 years. And we
Yes,
just
sir.
talked about that. You may be on your way out soon on retirement. The light at the end of the tunnel. When's that date coming?
I'm actually retiring March the 31st of this year. So I have about another 12 days of work, of actual work time, but we have all the way to the end of March. I'll be at work.
Wow. Congratulations. Appreciate you for your service and making it to that end of the road.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah.
sir. I just thank God. I'm very grateful and I just feel real blessed. It's been real good to me, law enforcement. Helped a lot of people. A lot of people have helped me, but I'm actually happy that I'm at the end of the road now.
Yeah, absolutely. And so what are you doing right now in your assignment?
I'm working Compton Station. So I work for Compton Station. I've been at Compton Station for the last 20 years, since 2000, when the sheriff department took over Compton Station. And from that time, I've been working community relations in the city. So that means all the block club meetings, going to all the open houses and the school events, career days, making all the church events that they require department, and all the events and the activities of the city. So, and then problem solving, addressing all the problems that are within the city of Compton that kind of don't fit within the peg of patrol, as you know. So kind of all of that gets sent to me.
Yeah, nice, nice. So, were you a part of Compton PD, or were you always with the sheriffs?
I was always with the sheriff department. I was
Okay.
working Lennox Station before Compton, and I worked Lennox Station from '91 to 2000. And then when we took over, uh, I was voluntold to go to Compton Station
Yeah.
because I pastor a church in Compton. So they were like, "You're a pastor in Compton. I grew up in Compton. You grew up in Compton, so you're going to Compton whether you like it or not." And so that's how I ended up in Compton.
Yeah, yeah. But it was a good thing, a blessing in disguise, because you got a lot of ties to Compton. So
Yeah, it was absolutely a blessing in disguise. I went there kicking and screaming, but I'm so grateful that I actually embraced it and came out being connected to the city.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So growing up in Compton, I'm sure you had some interactions with police department out there and the sheriff's department in the neighboring communities. What brought you into law enforcement in the first place?
Man, I needed a job, right? So I grew up on Piru Street. I grew up on Piru Street. My brother was one of the founders of West Side Piru, Vincent Owens, and he went to jail. And as I tell everybody, I became a drug baby once he went to jail because my mother drugged me to church. She drugged me to youth group. She drugged me to choir rehearsal, and so I was just a drug baby being drugged into the church. And
Yeah, it's a different kind of
uh,
drug. Yeah, different kind of drug, baby. Yeah, love that, love that.
Yeah, it was a different kind of drug baby, but it was
Yeah,
a
yeah.
drug baby because I was kicking and screaming. And just when my wife and I had our first baby, and I'm 20 years old. I'm 20 years old and working at Burger King. And we popped for the sheriff department. The sheriff department patrolled that area. And there was one deputy that came by maybe once a week that he and I would kind of talk while we were waiting on his food. And he was like, "Man, you're a nice guy. You ought to join the sheriff department." And I was like, "Man, I'm from Compton, man. We don't even like the police." And he was like, "Well, this is how much money I made this year, and you can help people." And I just kind of looked into it, and that kind of started my career off.
Nice, nice. So did you get any blowback from your family, from your friends in the neighborhood about joining the sheriff's department or getting in law enforcement?
And that was the surprising part. I kind of went back there, and so you get the background investigator. So I had to go let everybody in
Yep.
the neighborhood know, hey, somebody coming to talk to y'all
Right, right.
because I'm about to get on the sheriff department. And so they laughed and they're like, "Whoa, man, okay, that's what's up, Ray." And they kind of like, we expected that from you. We expected you to do something good and something positive, and
Yeah.
that was it. So I got no blowback from my neighborhood, my street, or my family members. It was just a blessing. It was a very good blessing.
Wow. Even from your brother who said, who you said was a gang member and all that?
Yeah. So we're 10 years apart. So
Okay.
by that time, he's out of jail and working on his family, and now he's at work for the MTA. So he's a bus driver for the
Nice.
MTA in LA County, and he was like, "Man, go ahead and build your life." And so being there for him kind of just blessed him to live his life and charged me to do the right thing. So yeah, it was good. He was on me to do that.
Yeah, so he moved on from that and he kind of encouraged you as well. So that's good stuff. That's fam right there.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah,
sir. It
yeah.
was a blessing. It was a
Yeah.
blessing.
Absolutely. So, in your career, you say you worked Linux Station, and then you've been over to Compton. What sort of assignments have you had in your career?
Yeah, so I only had two actually assignments. So I worked patrol. So I was a patrol deputy, and then at Lennox I worked patrol, and then from patrol they moved me to what we called our PAL or our YAL Youth Athletic League, and that's where we just kind of got all the kids in the neighborhood and
Yeah,
found some money and took them on field trips and tried to partner with the kids. So that was my one assignment. And then when I got to Compton, I originally started working patrol. And then, like a year later, they put me into community relations. So I've only had two assignments in patrol as I worked over my 34 years.
nice, nice. And then,
Yeah.
yeah, so we all heard of Compton. Those of us watching the show from across this country. But it always comes up with a negative connotation. Why don't you tell the viewers a little about Compton, demographics of it. What's the good stuff about Compton that maybe we don't know from the outside?
Well, okay. So it's a city of about 120,000 people. Demographics is probably 60% Latino, 35% Black, and then you have 5% Asian and white that are in the city. We have Kendrick Lamar, one, I believe, a Pulitzer Prize. And then we have a number of people. We have a Rhodes Scholar right now, Elijah, that graduated from Harvard and now is on his way to England to be a Rhodes Scholar. A number of young people that are positive. We have we call it a manufacturer. They grow plants, but they don't grow them in the ground. I believe it's hydroponics, where
Mhm.
they grow plants from the ground. We have that facility there. A number of large facilities, a number of large areas where uh, manufacturers develop programs and things of that nature. And of course, there are a lot of negative things going on, but man, Compton has a lot of positive things that are going on within the city right now.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And it's not, all that is made out to be in the media and all that. It's got some great points about it. Uh, Years ago, I don't know if they still had that, but years ago, the housing and urban development department used to have the officer next door program. So I looked for some houses in Compton because there were specific areas that you had to buy in, and it was like you buy at a real cheap rate, and you had to live there. I think it was 3 to 5 years. I forgot what it was.
Yep.
And then once you did that, then the house is yours, and then you could sell it, you could stay there, what have you. I had a buddy, he works for Orange County Sheriff's Department. He moved down there, and then he lived down there. And then I was looking for a house, and yeah, it's got some real nice areas in Compton, at least back then. So it's not
Oh,
all that.
absolutely. There's still a
Yeah,
whole lot of nice areas in the city
yeah,
that are, if you turn the corner, you wouldn't even know where you were. Well
exactly.
manicured lawns, beautiful homes, well kept, painted, and you wouldn't know where you were if you turned the corner. And so, a lot of beautiful areas. And
Yeah,
so, it's a beautiful city, and it's rising.
yeah.
It's rising.
And I wanted to get that out so people, just that negative connotation that Compton brings when people hear that name. I wanted to make sure people understood that it's not just all that you hear in the media.
Oh yeah, please do your research first, and
Yeah,
you'll see that Compton is on the rise. Actually.
absolutely. And where is it located for people that don't know? People that are viewing it from other side of the country right now.
So Compton is about 12 miles from downtown Los Angeles, and it sits in the center of four major freeways: the 91 freeway, the 110, the 105, and the 710. So it sits right there, and it's, as I said, about 12 miles south of downtown Los Angeles, and it sits about 5 miles away from San Pedro or the port of Los Angeles. So that's where we sit, and it's kind of just to the north of South Bay, what we call the South Bay area.
Right, right. And then, so being in law enforcement, you being African American, this past 2020, it was a mother. Let me tell you, a whole lot of stuff went on in
Woo!
2020. Yeah, and
Yes, sir.
we just now trying to recover from it. Most of being, George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, all those incidents that happened in 2020. How did that affect you down there in Compton and the sheriff's department and your station down there?
Well, the number one, just the backlash. I mean, the George Floyd event took place in Minnesota, I believe. It was in Minnesota, and people want to blame Compton Station for what took place, and so we were just dealing with the backlash of the anger and the frustration of everyone, and then the rioting and the marching. So when all of that took place, we immediately go on to tactical alert, 12-hour shifts. And the bad thing is people want to peacefully protest, but you have opportunistic people that are trying to loot. And so
Yeah,
uh, we're out here trying to catch people that are looting, right, breaking into stores. And so Compton is on an economic surge. And what people don't understand is if we allow people to loot, then other larger companies, big box stores, won't come in, which will build the economic base, which allows now if big box stores come in, restaurants come in, and people don't understand that whole thing. The first
Mm-hmm.
thing a store asks is what is the crime rate, right? Because I
Right.
don't want to lose my product. I come to make a profit. And so all of those things are very important. And in that, so when we are out there attempting to bring peace and keep the looting down and the rioting down. And we don't mind the peaceful protest. That's great. But all the other things that come with it, it causes everyone to get on edge. And I believe everyone kind of lost their way. As me as a black man and as a police officer and as a pastor, being on Facebook and social media, I had to turn it off because I'm looking at my members make posts and they making me angry, and everything was kind of
Yeah.
just up in the air. And I had to just get off of everything, and pull the guys in the station together because I'm one of the old guys, and had to let them know, hey, calm down. We're gonna take care of ourselves. Then we're gonna protect the city, and then we're going. Everybody's going home. Everybody's gonna be all right.
Mm-hmm.
And this is not our fault. And so we just started explaining to the younger guys because I've been through the Rodney King riots as well. So I had to explain to everybody, no, calm down. It's gonna be all right. This is not our fault. But we will, and we are obligated to do this job. No matter how you feel, remember, this is what we signed up for. It's not our
Yeah.
fault, but remember, this is what we signed up for. And so I went immediately to the guys and began to explain to them and pull them in, and just became an ear to the guys at the station. Some were frustrated, angry, mad, all of these things that happened. And then, watching the video, as a black man watching the video, like, Lord, I don't know their tactics and their policy and procedure, but that was a long time. So understanding all of that stuff and kind of understanding what how everyone felt, and this, after I calmed down, giving people a chance to just explain themselves and vent their frustration. So that's kind of how we were. But I had a lot of anger and frustration on both ways. Sometimes I
Yeah.
was mad at the police. Sometimes I'm mad at the community. And so it was very conflicting for me.
Yeah, yeah, and that's one thing. Us being black and blue, those conflicting emotions of that we had to feel during that time that we're still feeling, because
Yes.
these sorts of things affect us when we take off this uniform as well. So, yeah, the
Yes, sir.
duality of it. Yeah, it's crazy. It's
Yes,
crazy.
sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Because I got a nice car. It's tinted out with some rims, so I'm liable to get pulled over.
Yep.
And so that whole thing goes on. If I
Yep.
don't have my uniform on, I'm a black man in a nice car,
Yep.
right? With a gun in the car. We call that a gun car. You got to have a
Right.
gun car to protect
Yeah.
them rims.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy, but just stay safe out there. Like I said, you got that light at the end of the tunnel coming up. So, you need to, on that drive, you need to be in a little beater, little Honda Civic or something like, so you don't get stopped, you know, get you a moped. Get
Yes,
you a moped.
sir.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
So,
That's funny.
so you run a church out there in Compton. Tell everybody what that church is.
Yeah, church is called Faith Inspirational. It's about a 2,000 member church. And so I was just a member of a church when I first got into patrol. And I'm riding with this white guy, and we are in Lenox, and we see the guy carrying a VCR. Those of you that don't know what a VCR is, please go look it up. And everything's hanging off the VCR.
Uh-huh.
So we jump out the car and go chase him after 3 or 4 fences, right? He hits 3 fences and we catch him. We finally catch him. And my partner goes, this guy is not a thief. He's a drug addict. He says, and we got 97 churches in this area, and not one of them are open for this drug addict. So we got to take him to jail. And it hit me like a ton of bricks. And I was like, man, if I ever become a pastor, my church is going to be active in the community. And
Wow.
so that was my biggest thing. And so we're very active in the community. We have tutors. Before COVID came out, we have people on the campus of all the 3 high schools. We have a budget for each high school where we just support the PTA and the teachers if they need anything. We do movie in the park with the city. We partner with the city. So being a pastor and a deputy, I can bring a car to the movie in the park, right? A patrol car to the movie in the park, and I have connections with the city, and so they give us the park for free, and we'll put on a movie in the park.
Yes.
Over the last 5 years, we have 1,500 to about 3,000 people in the park watching a movie from 7 p.m. to about 9, 10 o'clock in the evening. And our church would just kind of serve hot dogs and kind of just open it up for kids that never get to go to the movies or never get to experience anything, or because it's dark and dangerous, they can't be out. And so we would bring about myself and my partner would bring two patrol cars and kind of just connect with the kids, right? And
Yeah.
had the church members connect with their parents and things of that nature. So we're just about outreach. Got a young man that graduated from Centennial High School, one of our high schools in Compton, and he runs a male academy. And so he saw the need for our young men to have identity, right? Because if we don't give them identity, then the streets will, right? And we know the streets give them an identity and they give them a new name, like Loke, right? And Killer and
Yep.
all the crazy
Yep.
names. That's what the street give them. And if we don't continue to give them their name and their identity, we lose. And so he teaches a number of things, just how to build credit and who you are and why you should go to school and the importance of staying disciplined. And so we just do a lot of things where we reach out to the community and help. And we have about 500 men at the church because I asked God, like, I don't need a church full of women. Could you please give me some men, God? Please give me some men. And so it's given me about 500 men at the church. And so we just kind of reach out and try to make things better within the community.
Nice, nice. And where's the church located?
Church is located 357 Palmer. It's right in the city of Compton, 357 East Palmer, 90221. We're on the internet and all that kind of stuff, and we're just reaching out, and we try to affect our own little area first. And being old, we're just getting up on the internet and Facebook and all of
Right.
that,
Yeah.
Instagram, because I'm a little old guy, and I like
Y-
in person touching people,
Yeah. 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 I mean, but COVID changed all that. So
all
how
of
you
that.
guys adjusting to that? You guys doing services
So
online and
yeah,
all that?
yeah, we're doing service online. Thank God for them youngsters. 2,000 members. We got a lot of youngsters, so they just came in and took right over, right? And they were just, and I thank God because I'm a police officer, aggressive personality, dominant personality, and they was like, "Nah, you're about to mess stuff up, old man. Let us handle this." And so I
uh,
stepped back, and they took care of everything. And so they have us on Instagram and YouTube and also on Facebook now. And so we do services Sunday morning and then also Thursday night Bible class.
yeah. Yeah. We all had to adjust to COVID, right?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah.
sir. All of it. This
Yeah.
bad boy made everybody act right, you
Right.
know?
Right. And hopefully we can get back to it soon. I just got my last vaccination on Thursday of last week. So,
Wow.
hopefully, we can all get vaccinated, and those that don't, hopefully, us being vaccinated will help them out as well. That herd immunity, as they call it. And then we can get back to
Yes.
normal, because there's a lot of things I miss, church being one of them, but,
Yep.
movies and
Yep.
restaurants, and yeah,
Yep.
just hanging out at the bar with my wife, and just
You
watching a
know,
little, some jazz show or something. It's yeah. So we need to get back
all of
to
that,
it.
all the concerts we're missing right now.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
praying that this thing go away.
yeah. I'm an old head
And
like
I'm
you, so
retired next month.
right.
I need this to.
Yeah, cruises and all that type of stuff. Yeah, I remember
Yes,
when the
sir.
lockdown first happened last March. It happened right around spring break, and I had two kids in high school at the time, and then we were going to go on a cruise, and we were going to go to Disneyland. I got a contact at Disneyland that was going to get us the VIP for free, and we were about to go in
Wow.
there, and then boom, everything locked down. Disneyland closed down, the cruise was shut down, and then we were in the house. I was like, really? Yeah. So we ain't been able to do none of that since then. But yeah.
That's crazy. That's
Yeah, yeah. I
crazy.
was like, first time, because you know how Disneyland is. And I haven't been to Disneyland
Yep.
since my kids were young. And then he said, yeah, I'll get you in for free VIP. You don't have to stand in no lines. You get to go to the backstage and see all these tours. I was like, it's
Wow.
on, let's do it. And then the
Yes,
lockdown.
sir. Wow. That's cold blooded
Wasn't
there.
meant to be.
No,
So yeah,
no.
hopefully
We'll do
hopefully
it
we can get
next
back to
year.
that. Hopefully I can do that. Hopefully he's
Yes,
still
sir.
working there by the time we get out this lockdown.
That'll be
Yeah.
nice. That'll be
Yeah.
nice.
Tell me about it. Tell me about it. So with the church as well, you guys are pretty entrenched in the community. When did the church start again?
Church started about 25 years ago.
Oh
But
wow.
we moved to Compton. And took over this church about 14 years ago. The location we moved to the location that we're in about 14 years ago, and yeah, we just been there trying to make a difference now. Just making sure that we touch people's lives.
Nice. And you say you got contacts with the city, and how's that relationship with your church and city and sheriff's department?
Oh, so I mean, God put me in a unique position, man. So it is just a blessing. So anything that I think of doing, I usually tie in law enforcement and the government, and we know those are a couple of the pillars that any life stands upon. You need the government, you need faith, right, and you need law enforcement. And so I was in a very unique position to pull all three together and make them collaborate. And so in doing that, the relationship is wonderful because it wouldn't cost the city anything, right?
Yeah.
We would clean up. I'd have people to pre-op and post operation, and they would clean up, and so the park would be just as beautiful as when we took over. And so the city felt good once that happened. We would put their names on the flyer, so it would be the church in conjunction with the city, in conjunction with the
Mm-hmm.
sheriff department. And Lord knows law enforcement needed some positive publicity at the time. So
Yeah.
they were happy to be there. And so it worked out really well. And I would recommend anybody, if you're in that light, just to have law enforcement and the city connect. Sometimes you can make something happen just in your own little world, just by offering what you have, and partnering with somebody. And so that's one of the blessings that we found out, that hey, we'll do everything. We just want to make sure it's going to be safe. And you know what? Can you help us out, city official? Come by and say that you love the people, And so
Yeah.
once we had that, we would normally get the council person in that area, wherever part we were in, to come and say hello. And so it worked out really well for everybody.
So let me ask you, going back to BLM and George Floyd and all that, how does your position as being a deputy affect your? I know you were offline. You weren't doing in church services at the time because of COVID. But how's that affect your sermons when you're out there ministering? All the stuff, all the turmoil that's going on in law enforcement.
Yeah, so I'm just kind of upfront about everything. Like yesterday, we were talking about. So this month is Black History, and so I asked all my members, how many of you have gone and shared some Black history with your children? Right? We focus in on Valentine's Day more than Black history, right? And so I was sharing that the Jewish custom at the time, they were doing a feast, and to commemorate them coming out of Egypt. Now, I don't want to preach, but what happened was they were always
Go ahead,
remembering where
preach.
they came from, right? So that they would not be destined to repeat it. And so I just asked my congregation, how many of you guys have shared with your children a positive Black person, right? How many of you have talked to your children about what's going on this month? Because this is Black history, and it's not white America's responsibility to take care of Black history. It is
Mm-hmm.
Black America's responsibility to keep Black History Month thriving and moving on. And so I was just kind of sharing that. And so for me, I'm always upfront. And I told him about Black Lives Matter, right? I'm all lives matter, right? Number one, but if it's Black Lives Matter, I said yesterday we didn't have a spike in Compton. We didn't have like 50 to 60 shootings already this year, right? And nobody's marching, nobody's protesting. So
Mm.
where's Black Lives Matter? So and I asked them, right? Because we went in deep, and I'm like, yeah, we do need change. We do need law enforcement to change, but it's hypocrisy when we don't come out for our own people when we shooting each other. Because the one thing we always say is the police are shooting our brothers and our men,
Yeah.
and well, they the same men that's shooting each other. So
Yeah.
we need to do something about that as well. And so I'm always very upfront about it because uh, our church, we're out there trying to reach these young men and change their lives and change their narrative, change their perspective. But I just call it like it is, and people get mad, they get mad. But the truth is the truth. We need to stand as a race of people and address our own problem of our own young men killing each other, because that is a black life
It
and it
is.
does matter,
Yes.
right? Black lives don't just matter when they're being killed by the police. Black lives matter when black people are killing black people,
Yeah.
right?
No
And so
doubt.
we have a ton of people dying in Chicago and everywhere else. And all I'm saying is, let's make Black Lives Matter in every situation.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with that. But on the flip side, I kind of take the approach that yes, Black Lives Matter, and yes, all lives matter. But the organization Black Lives Matter, their mission statement isn't with all lives. It's to deal with Black lives that are being affected by law enforcement. It would be like saying, cancer research. If your mission, your organization's mission is to deal with breast cancer. That's not to say prostate cancer isn't, or colon cancer or what have you isn't just as important. But our organization's mission is to deal with breast cancer. You kind of see that distinction there.
I got you. Yes,
Yeah,
sir. Yes,
yeah,
sir. Then they need to put that out there, right? And say that they're addressing just law enforcement,
yeah.
because the community now is turning against them because of what's going
Right.
on, right? Because everyone does not know, and they need to be very effective about their community. I mean, their communication of what they're doing and what they're trying to do.
And why? Yep.
Because absolutely, if that's their mission, then they need to say, you know what, Black Lives Matter against law enforcement or whatever it is, so everybody would know. Because I can respect that, right? I can respect that. We're not focusing in on. We can't take that bite out of black on black crime, but what we can address is black people against
Hmm.
law enforcement. I can
Yep.
respect that.
Yep. But not to say that we don't have to affect the black on black crime as well, because that's affecting all of our communities and what we are as black men and women. So we gotta deal with that. Chicago, you hear about those shootings all day long. I interview cops out there in Chicago, and they tell me there's a lot of history and a lot of reasons why those things are happening, but they need to be addressed.
Yes, yes, yes,
Yeah.
and yeah, I believe it's only going to come from the black community. We started
Yeah.
it, right? So it
Yep.
has to come
Yep.
from us. The solution is not from the government. The solution is not from anything. It all has to come from us, right? It all has
Yes.
to come from us because these are our people.
All right. So speaking of people and speaking of fam, I've seen a couple people pass by there. A youngster earlier, and then someone just now. What's the family like? Family like over there? What you got?
So yeah, the lady that just walked by was my wife for 36 years, somewhere around there.
Nice.
And
Hey, Miss Owens. Hey.
and then so we've been married since '87, and then
All
from our
right.
marriage we have 6 children. I have
Wow.
a son that's a pastor in New Mexico. He served 4 years in the Air Force, and now
Nice.
he's a pastor in New Mexico. He and his wife, and they have 2 children. I have a son on Broadway. He was doing Beetlejuice. Wave at the camera, babe. He was doing Broadway before the COVID, and so he was doing
Nice.
Beetlejuice. He was in the play Beetlejuice before COVID
Nice.
Locked it down, and so
Singer
he's
or
still in New
dancer,
York.
or they kind of do
Uh,
both in Broadway, right?
yeah, he's
Okay.
on stage, so he sings and dances. And
Nice.
Ramon Owens is his name, and then my third son is Ryan Owens, and he flies drones. He spent 4 years in the Air Force as well, and now he flies drones for a government contractor. And then my daughter, my fourth child, is a deputy sheriff. She just got on the sheriff department in
All
August.
right.
Blew my mind, but I'm so proud right now.
Yes.
Yeah, and then my fifth child is just applied for the sheriff department. So really,
Yeah.
really proud of that. And so hopefully he'll be on. And then the little one you saw is my 16-year-old daughter, and she's my computer guru. So she was making up, And once I got set up, then she just left. She didn't even want to hear the conversation because she say, I hear you talk at Sunday. I hear you talk at the house.
Yep.
So I just don't want to hear you talk no more. So you set up. So yeah, so that's
Uh,
my family, and they're all out the
yes.
house except for our 16-year-old.
Yes. Yes. Congratulations. Great job
Thank
there.
you.
Great job.
Oh yeah, my
What?
wife, she was a stay-at-home mom, so you know us, our hours change and all of that kind of stuff.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
she raised them, and she did a great job at it. I'm
Yes,
just
she
so
did.
blessed.
Yes, she
Hmm.
did. Thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. What made your two older ones wanna join the Air Force? Is there any connection there?
Yeah. So the oldest one, so at the tenth grade, I have a talk with my children. Hey, you're in the 10th grade. You have the 10th, 11th, and 12th grade. What do you want to do? These are my plans for you. All right. This is what you have to do. You can go to school, college full time. That means carrying 16 units. You can go to school part time, right? You can carry 8 units and you have to work. Or you can go to work full time, and that's a 40-hour a week job with benefits. Benefits are medical, right? With retirement. You have that, you're good to stay here, right? And so I have a talk with all my children at the 10th grade, the beginning of the 10th grade, beginning of the 11th grade, beginning of the 12th grade. And my oldest son, the first one, I guess didn't believe it and just made bad grades. So, well, I was like, okay, well, option number four. He goes, there wasn't no option number four. I go, well, you didn't meet none of these other options, so you're going to see your uncle. And they was like, who? I say, Uncle Sam. And so I sent him to the Air Force, right? And the second child, who's now on Broadway, was like, oh no, that's not for me. So he went to college at the Boston Conservatory for dance.
Nice.
And then the third child that went into the Air Force, he made my wife mad. And so she was like, he out of here. And I was like, oh, okay. So we one for one. Both of us got one, right? And so
Yeah.
she sent him away. And so that's kind of how they went. They both went grudgingly, but it turned out well for both of them.
Yeah, yeah, it kind of turned them around. Why the Air Force though?
Yes.
Why not the Navy, the Marines, Army, Coast Guard?
Well, I just told them they had to pick one. And so they
Okay.
scored so high that all of them that both of them went to the Air Force. Yeah. So that was all they're picking. They just had to pick one, right? Pick
Yeah.
one of these, and you need to go and get your life straight and see what you have and get yourself together. So and they both picked the Air Force.
Nice, nice. Yeah, the Air Force. That's a good
Hmm.
gig. I've got a cousin who's been through there. His dad was in the Air Force, and now his son is in the Air Force. So kind of legacy
Yeah.
there. Kind of legacy
Yes,
there. I
sir.
love that. Love that. And then the daughter that's on the department now, she's in custody right now, right?
She's out. Yeah, she's working
Yeah.
the jails,
Okay.
the female
Yeah.
jails right now.
Nice, nice.
Yes,
And
sir.
then and then you got another one that's applying, so hopefully he'll get on. So I was going to ask you that earlier. What was the feeling of you having your kids join law enforcement? Obviously, you're all for that because, or were you?
Yeah, well, I just didn't expect it. I was for it.
Hmm.
So working at the YAL at Lennox, they all kind of was there with me because it was a program for kids. So I just brought my kids down, especially in the summertime, get a mother a break, So come on, you guys go with me. So they would come down to the YAL with me, and they got to see the interaction of what I was doing, talking to the kids, providing counseling and mentorship, and just having fun with the kids. And then as they got older and I came to Compton, they saw the church and the sheriff department connecting. So a lot of times when the church was giving an event, I would be in uniform representing the sheriff department during that event. And so they saw that, and my daughter was like, "Man, I want to help. I want to make a difference. And what better way to make a difference and actually still be active and addressing the community than
Yeah,
being in law enforcement?" And I was like, "Oh, okay, all right, well, do your thing," And
yeah,
so it was kind of scary at first, but thinking back, I'm the only one to know the change that I've experienced. This is all going to be new to her, and it's going to be her
hmm,
experience, and that's what somebody had to share with me. Let her get her own experience. Don't tell her how things have changed before the radios and before
Oh yeah.
telephones and before cameras, right? Because I was on when they would come out with the big VCR on their shoulder and like,
Yep.
I see
Yep.
you, right? That was the
Before
only
that. Yep.
recording devices they had. So we've been through all of that, and so to see that and to see her, I just backed down and kind of let her enjoy her life and enjoy her experience as a police officer.
Have you ever had a chance to be an FTO?
No, no, never had a
Okay.
chance to be an FTO. I
Okay.
would kind of sub a little bit and help out, but that would just be one day, maybe 2 days. But never had a trainee where I had to sit with them and guide them all the way through the process.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. So I'm an FTO. Well, not now because I'm in a different assignment, but just sitting with the trainees nowadays and kind of seeing their mentality is it's a little different from when you and I were first coming up, and their reliance on on mobile devices and technology. A lot of times they'll be up on the phone in the car. I'm like, come on, really? We gotta stay focused on what's happening out here, not what's and then, so you got to write them up for that. But on the flip side, though, when you're trying to get them acclimated to the geography of your city, right? And
Yeah.
you remember the old trick where they stop and say where are you, right, type of thing,
Yep.
right?
Yes,
And
sir.
can't use a computer. We back in the day we used to have the old flip out maps. We had to figure out, okay, here's where we are, whatever, and they just bring out their phone. Hey Siri, where we at? So
Right, right.
technology kind of helps them too.
Yes,
Technology helps them too.
I was taking a report, right? I was taking a report, and we had a youngster taking that report too. So I'm getting all the information from the one victim, and the youngster come back up. I'm going, did you get the information? Go, yeah. I go, well, how'd you get it so much? I just took a picture of everything with my phone. I'm like,
Yes. Yeah.
okay, because I'm down, right, and
Yes.
they done
Yes.
got it all down in 30 seconds, you know.
Yeah. 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 Work smarter, not harder, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Yes,
so
sir.
you got to give them props for that. You got to give them props for that.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I love that. So
Uh-huh.
being African American, what sort of opportunities for advancement are in the sheriff's department? I know just yesterday I interviewed a couple lieutenants. I don't know if you know the Strongs, Eric and
Yes,
Cedar Strong. Yep.
yes,
So
very
so I had them
well.
on. I had them on yesterday for a Valentine's Day. Because they're a married
Okay.
couple. And
Yes.
I know a captain over there at your department as well. I won't mention her name right now, but and a few other people. So there are opportunities for advancement. Why don't you give me your perspective on that, though?
Well, so I would absolutely say where the sheriff department is in need of people of color, of Black people. We are in need of uh, people to represent the community that where most of the people are Black or Hispanic, and we need those people. And so the opportunity is great. And so we have a lot of people, not a whole lot of people, but we have people that are in positions of authority. We have a number of captains and commanders that are in position. We have a chief that's a female Black, and so it's very important for people. If you feel like this is something you can do and you want to help the community, it would be a great opportunity for you. It's a great way to take care of yourself and your family, but also to provide help to those that are in your community. And with the sheriff department, there is total room for advancement. So you can climb the ladder, and they are open for Blacks to be in position of authority, and it is welcome. It is welcome. And so I would challenge anyone, if you don't know what you want to do, please look into a career of law enforcement and see. And I know Los Angeles County Sheriff Department, I believe we're at like 1% of the or 10% of the population. We have about 10,000 sworn, and we're Blacks are probably around 1,000. So we're at about 10% of the department, and so we need to get those numbers up. But it's only going to
Yes.
come from young men and women that want to do this job. And if you have a heart for it, it would mean a whole lot, and it is a great career. Especially if you get away from the social media side of it and just see it for what it really is and the purity of it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And on that same note, I know you guys have a Latino sheriff right now. It'd be great one day to see, an African American sheriff. It's an elected position, so that would have to be up to the voters of the county. But it'd be great to see one day. Be great to see maybe a female sheriff one day in LA County.
Absolutely.
Openly gay, everything, the whole gamut, Asian, it'd be lovely to see that. But only time will
Yes.
tell, and we working towards that, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Orange County had a female sheriff. It's doable, and they had it, and so what can be done, what was done in Orange County can be done here. So
Yes, absolutely.
it would be
And
great.
condolences
And
to
so,
her family. She just passed away recently too. So
yes, and so
yeah,
we want to make sure that if you see and know, and that's something that you might think that you're interested in, don't just breeze over it. Investigate and see what it's really like. Come out and do a
yeah.
ride along. Come and interview people. We are open to be interviewed, and we
To be
want
interviewed, huh?
quality people. Yes. So come on out and find out what our career was about, and we'll tell you the highs and the lows, the good and the bad of it.
Nice. All right. So you about to retire here in March? What's the future hold for you? What's the plan?
Man, a lot of traveling. So that's why we got to pray. All of y'all need to be praying that everybody get vaccinated so we can open this
Yes.
thing up. Because I got a lot of concerts I want to take my wife to. I got a lot of golf destinations. It's purely selfish for me, after 34 years
Purely.
of, yeah, after 34 years of working on the sheriff
Uh-huh.
department, and now I have my freedom. I'm going to learn to cook. I drive my wife crazy because she does all the cooking. I don't know how to do anything, but I was getting on Facebook and I was recording us cooking, and she would get so mad because I wasn't doing anything. So I'm gonna start my cooking show back up. The
All
wife and
right.
I, I'm learning to speak Spanish and want to learn to play the piano. And then I just got to figure out something else to do with my time after that.
So
Of
wait a
course, I'll
minute.
still be at the church.
So wait a minute. You've been in Compton for 30 something years, and you haven't learned any Spanish yet?
Not at all.
Oh,
Not fully.
come on, brother. Come on.
Not fully, not fully.
Yeah,
And I failed
yeah,
that
yeah.
5% bonus. I can't tell
Yes.
you how many times they was like, "Man, get out of here! You don't even know the first three sentences." So I was trying to get that 5% bonus for
Yeah,
speaking Spanish. They was like, "Sorry, Charlie."
yeah, yeah. I can't talk because my wife is actually Latina, and I used to work
Really?
Border Patrol. Yeah, I used to work Border Patrol too.
Yeah.
So
If you don't speak Spanish and you have a Spanish
yeah. I know.
speaker in your house.
I know. I got a Spanish speaker in my house, and yeah, I used to speak it a whole lot better. But when I used to work Border Patrol, that's back in the '90s, and since I've been away, I don't really speak it as much. But I can understand. Yeah, for the most part,
Right.
I
Yes.
I make sure they speak slower, and then I can get most of it.
Yes.
You're not gonna get people to speak
Despacio.
slow. Yes,
Despacio.
más despacio. Exactly. She always clowns me though. She'll be up here talking to her mom or whatever. She say, I know you know what we're saying. So it's like, no, I don't. Just keep talking. I don't know what you're saying. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's
So you
good stuff.
said lots of concerts. What's the musical choice?
Oh man, I'm probably neo soul, so a lot of Jill
Hmm.
Scott, Kim,
Yes.
music. Of course, Earth, Wind, and Fire. Anybody that can do
Mm,
Earth, Wind, and Fire. Frankie Beverly and Mays.
mm,
Hopefully, Anita Baker will still be around,
mm.
and just all those kind of concerts, nice and mellow, and just
Yeah.
some good sound and vibe. And hopefully, I can pick something else up. And then when I get crazy, I like to hear big band, a little Frank Sinatra, and all of that kind of
Wow.
stuff. So
Okay. Yeah,
yeah,
that's
it's
what's up.
crazy, different ends of the spectrum. Yep.
Yeah. I'm all over the spectrum too, as well. Like I said, my wife's Latina, so we listen to a lot of that. But you see the records back here, so I'm a DJ off duty.
Yeah.
So I listen to
Wow.
everything, so I can DJ everything. I've done a few weddings for your department, as a matter of fact. And
Oh wow.
so I do country, I do classic rock, I do it all. Hip hop. My
Yeah.
bread and butter is
That's
hip
what's
hop
up.
and hip hop and R&B. But I know it all. I know it all. Got to know it all.
Oh yeah.
I got to
That's
keep
good
making that.
stuff. You know.
Got to keep making that cheddar. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yes, sir. Yes,
got to
sir.
keep making it. Got to keep making it. So I
Yeah. I
appreciate you
feel a
coming
lot
on.
better
But
when I'm making that
yeah,
cheddar.
yeah, for real. So, I appreciate you coming on, but, like we discussed earlier before I let you go, we're going to play a little game, a little trivia game to test your knowledge. So let me get this set up for you here. This game is called...
Black or blue, 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 black or blue.
All right, this game here is called Black or Blue. Your category today is called Back to School. Back to school. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna give you a school down in your area, high school, and you tell me is one of their major colors black or blue? Black or blue? Should be real simple for you. You're entrenched in the community down there. It's not just Compton, it's that whole South LA area, LA. So hopefully you can get through this. Yeah. Hopefully we can get through this. All right. Here's your first one. Check this one out. Here's the Culver City High School Centaurs. Is their major color blue or black? Black or blue?
Wow. Black.
Black. Oh, that would be wrong. Their major color is blue. Yeah,
Dang.
The Centaurs. Yeah, come on. We'll get you going here. How about the North High School in Torrance? North High School Saxons in Torrance.
Man, I don't know none of these people. What you call blood set me up like this? Okay,
Come on, take a stab at it.
Okay, I would say blue.
See, you would be right. See that logo there? There you go.
Sir.
You never went to any high school football games out there back in your day?
No, man, they wouldn't let us go out to Torrance. What you talking about?
Well, when they traveled over to your schools out there in Compton. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
How about Belmont High School? The Belmont High School Sentinels in L.A.
Blue.
Black or blue?
Black. I would say black for Belmont.
They are black. They're green and black. See?
Yes.
Two right. Few more here for you. How about Loyola High School in L.A., the Loyola High School Cubs?
Yeah, that's blue.
They are blue. See? You know this. How about the Beverly Hills High School Normans?
Wow. I believe they're blue.
They are not. They are black, orange and black.
That's right, orange and black.
Right. Orange and black. All right. How about the Centennial High School Apaches? You better know this one. They in Compton.
They got to be black because their colors are red and white. So it's got to be black. They have no blue. Yep.
Nah, they don't have no blue. They don't. See? All right. Few more here for you. How about Bishop Montgomery High School in Torrance?
Black.
They are black. Next one here. How about Cabrillo High School Jaguars in Long Beach?
Whoa. I would say blue.
They are green and black.
And
your last one here. Santa Monica High School Vikings.
Blue.
They are blue. All right, so you got through that. You got more right than you got wrong, so we're going to call you the winner.
Yes, sir. Warm up.
Yeah, see, you thought you would, you wouldn't know, but you know this stuff.
Yep. I was getting ready to go on the internet, have my daughter say, hey, black and blue set me up, but I feel better now.
Yeah, we got you, bro. Yeah, I wasn't gonna let you fail.
Yes,
I wasn't gonna let you fail.
Thank you.
Man, yes, I appreciate you coming on, sir. Tell everybody how to reach your church again on your social media pages or internet.
Yes, Faith Inspirational at, and that's either Facebook or Instagram. Faith Inspirational. All right, and you can reach us there, and you can hit me up there. Also, that's it. That's all I know right now. And then my email address, but because I'm old, I don't know how to work all of this stuff. So yeah, you can hit me at one of those two.
Get your IT department on there, your social media department on there. Yeah.
They're probably going crazy right now. Like, we told him. Yeah.
All right, thank you. I appreciate you coming on, sir, and we'll talk soon. You be safe out there for your next 12 days, right?
Yes, sir. 12 working days and a month.
But who's counting?
A month and a half going up. Yeah, but who's counting? Who's counting? You know. Yeah, if I go turn in my equipment week after next, so I'll just be at the station pushing paper now. So Yeah, this is just a blessing. It's all getting real.
Yes.
Yeah.
I appreciate you. Thank you for your service. You be safe.
All righty, Dale. Thank you so much for having me, sir.
You got it. We'll talk.
All righty. Bye now.
Yo, that does it for this ultra inspiring episode of the Black and Blue Podcast. I want to thank Deputy Rafer Owens of the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department for blessing this episode with his words of wisdom and reason. I also want to congratulate him on a well-deserved retirement. My man, I wish you nothing but the best in the next chapter of your life. And if you guys out there enjoyed this episode, go on ahead and smash that like button on the Black and Blue Podcast YouTube channel. Or like and subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcast. I'll be back next payday. That's 2 weeks from now, if you're wondering, with another fun-filled episode. But till then, come on now, y'all already know. Stay black and blue. I'll holler at you. Peace.
This has been a Maitre D Entertainment presentation.